I am the hunter!
We all know that is the voice of Sova from Valorant, but have you ever stopped to wonder who's the face behind the voice? And that got me thinking, do any of the Valorant voice actors actually play the game themselves? In this video, we'll dive into the world of Valorant voice actors to find out who they are in real life. Some are quite popular, and others not so much. Nevertheless, I would like to get us started with KO, who sounds more like a cold, hard logic man shutting down abilities in the game. Well, it's actually this man, Gabe Kunda, who has also lent his voice to thousands of projects over the years, including the English dubs of anime giants like Black Clover, My Hero Academia, and Attack on Titan. Oh, and if you are a Call of Duty Warzone fan, you might recognize him as the voice of Jackal in the latest season. This guy is basically everywhere, from the chaos of Future Earth to the battlefields of anime and FPS games. And if KO's suppressing abilities don't stop you in your tracks, Gabe's epic resume just might. But before you start imagining him sounding like a walking hard drive in real life, well, his voice has been heavily edited to give it that iconic robotic vibe. But does he actually play Valorant? The answer? Well, Gabe's pretty active on social media and loves interacting with fans, but he hasn't spilled much about his skills in Valorant. At first, he came out in a Valorant ranked game where he got caught by his opponent.
I love your voice, dog.
You sound like for KO.
Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not.
In the game, he can be seen playing on KO while pulling off clutch plays like a pro. It's like Riot took KO's voice actor, handed him a mic, and gave him the chance to be himself. And honestly, that's pretty cool. Not every day you see a character that feels like a perfect match with the person voicing them.
Enemy remaining.
Nice.
No one walks away.
Oh my.
Speaking of characters with big energy, the quick-witted, trash-talking, knife-flipping duelist we all love on the battlefield. And if you don't know yet, Shannon Arm Williams is basically Jet in real life.
You sound exactly like Jet's voice actor.
Yeah?
Shannon Williams.
Uh-huh.
You sound exactly like her.
Yeah, wow, what a coincidence. My name's Shannon.
Before becoming the queen of quick dashes and sharper-than-you comebacks in Valorant, she was making waves as a K-pop idol. Her big break came on SBS's Star King back in 2010, and she has been shining ever since. Voice acting might be a bit of a shift from belting out hit songs, but honestly, her voice lines are easily some of the most iconic in the game.
Woohoo! Ba-bum, ba-bum.
Right up there with Phoenix's fiery sass. From her look to her vibe to her love for FPS games, Shannon and Jet are practically twins separated by pixels. Moreover, she has the skills to back it up. Before Valorant, she was a hardcore Overwatch player, casually dropping a 53-kill game back in 2018. And when she transitioned to Valorant, she didn't just voice Jet, she played her too. During the closed beta, she even pulled off an impressive ace. Oh, and let's talk about Jet's accent for a second. Shannon's the official English voice of Jet, but she's added her own flair, explaining that the character's American accent was carefully crafted to fit her cocky, confident persona. Plus, if you have seen Valorant's cinematic trailer, you might have caught her slipping into Korean for a few lines.
미안해서 어쩌나?
However, some Valorant voice artists have never been seen playing the game. One good example is Hugo Pierre Martin, the voice behind Chamber, the French sentinel who is as smooth as he is deadly. If you have ever heard Chamber's voice and thought, this guy's got some serious cool factor, well, you are not wrong. Hugo brings that same energy to all his roles. Before landing the gig as Valorant's resident sharpshooter, Hugo was already making a name for himself. He played a deputy in HBO's adaptation of Westworld, a classic sci-fi western. And if that isn't enough, you might recognize his work in Shin Megami Tensei 3, Nocturne HD Remaster. So yeah, Hugo is no stranger to big roles in some seriously iconic franchises. And if his persona doesn't interest you that much, what about the voice actor for Astra? Fun facts, Astra might be one of the best controllers in Valorant, but let's be real, she is also one of the hardest to master. Despite that, she is insanely popular, and a lot of that comes down to her epic character design, and of course, her voice lines. I mean, who doesn't love hearing Astra drop some of her cosmic wisdom, right? So, who's the voice behind our favorite cosmic controller? Well, it's this lady, Effie Nkrumah, an Australian Ghanaian voice actress. Effie brings a unique vibe to Astra, making her feel grounded, powerful, powerful and wise all at once. Riot really hit the jackpot with this casting choice. Astra's character hails from Ghana, so it makes total sense that they chose a Ghanaian voice actress to bring it to life. This is similar to how they cast Sunil Malhotra, an Indian voice actor, for Harbour, who's also from India. It's all about that perfect representation. However, Effie Nkrumah hasn't really dipped her toes into mainstream voice acting or other voice acting gigs outside of Astra yet. So, as much as we'd love to hear more of her work, right now, Valorant fans get to enjoy her amazing performance as Astra, and that's about it. Oh, and if you're wondering whether she's ever played Valorant herself, well, she hasn't been spotted in-game just yet, but who needs to play the game when she's absolutely owning the voice lines?
I call you Chale because it means you're my friend. But maybe I should call you Kwasia because you follow.
Now, what happens when the face doesn't match the voice? Well, this is the case for Breach voice actor. We all know Breach sounds Swedish, but the man behind the ginger-bearded, explosive initiator is a Norwegian voice actor, David Menken. And let me tell you, he absolutely crushes it. With over 20 years of experience, David has the vocal chops to bring Breach's bomb-lobbing personality to life. And if you're wondering where you have once seen him or heard that voice, well, let me help you. You might have seen him in Florence Foster Jenkins or the Angry Birds movie. Oh, and if you are a Xenoblade Chronicles fan, you will recognize him as Malos. He has also worked with Blizzard on World of Warcraft Battle for Azeroth. This guy is a true pro who knows how to make his mark across all kinds of projects. But unlike some other voice actors, David has never been spotted playing Valorant. Looks like his talent for voicing Breach doesn't require first-hand game time. If you think every Valorant voice actor isn't really popular, then I guess you don't know the face behind Brimstone. It's simply Steve Bloom, a legend in the voice acting world. And when it comes to Valorant, it makes total sense that he voices Brimstone, the no-nonsense American controller. I mean, who else could bring that deep, gravelly voice with just the right amount of get-it-done attitude? And this isn't Bloom's first rodeo. Far from it. He has been in so many games, from Dota 2 to MapleStory, Mortal Kombat to StarCraft 2, and even in some epic anime like Cowboy Bebop, Demon Slayer, and Sword Art Online. This man has been everywhere. Seriously, you've probably heard his voice 100 times and didn't even realize it. With over 400 video game credits under his belt, Steve Bloom isn't just a prolific voice actor, he is a record holder. In fact, in 2012, the Guinness Book of World Records crowned him the most prolific video game voice actor of all time. Not bad for a guy who has been doing this since the 70s, right? Now, for someone his age, you wouldn't expect to see him behind video games. No wonder he hasn't been seen playing any Valorant game. If you're a fan of speed and chaos, you just know Neon is the Filipino duelist who can light up Valorant with her lightning-fast moves. But did you know the voice behind this high-voltage agent is none other than Manila-based actor Vanilla Velasquez? Crazy enough, Vanilla isn't just Neon. She's also the voice of Zeri in League of Legends and the titular Jelly in the Filipino kids show Jelly, Ben, and Pogo. So, whether it's zapping her away through Valorant or powering up in League, Vanilla has totally owned both of these characters. She is no rookie in the voice acting world either, and she has been at it since she was 11, starting with YouTube videos, dubbing anime on Hero TV's Dubbing Academy, and voicing commercials and animated shows in both Tagalog and English. One of the coolest things Vanilla has got to do with her characters was inject a bit of her own Filipino flavor into them. She even threw in some spontaneous Tagalog lines like "Oy" and "Ayos" during action scenes, making Neon and Zeri feel even more authentic to their roots.
Uy, 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 uy! Sa likod ko pala sa putang ina! Putang ina! Nililot ako, tangina! Teka lang, putang ina!
Amongst all of the Valorant characters, Sova is the guy who gets straight to the point. No fluff, no nonsense. And honestly, that energy fits perfectly with the man behind the voice, Aaron Vodovaz. As the voice of Valorant's resident Russian sniper, Aaron nails Sova's focused and calm demeanor, always ready to scout ahead and keep his enemy in check. Meanwhile, he has been acting for over 20 years, with his TV debut way back in 2001. He's had quite the career, and while Valorant is a massive role, it's not his only claim to fame. He has also appeared in The Kingsman, So yeah, Sova's voice has been in some seriously high places. One time, Aaron teamed up with Valorant streamer and content creator Average Jonas for a game. Imagine Sova's voice actor playing Sova in-game. It's like a Sovaception moment. You could tell Aaron really gets into character to bring Sova to life, making those voice lines hit just a little harder when you hear them mid-match.
Shock dart.
This is so good. I love it.
Overall, it's a mixed bag. Some voice actors have proven their skills with impressive in-game moments, showing they can back up their voices with gameplay. Others prefer to remain behind the scenes. But which of these talented artists caught you by surprise?